Mm-hmm.
Beautiful people, so I'm taking you guys with me on my shopping journey. I'm actually going in to buy just a couple things. I'm looking for thread to fix a dress that I'm currently trying to make, and then I'm also looking for, well, I'm not trying to make a dress, I'm actually trying to just kind of alter the dress. And this dress I'm going to wear to my friend's brother-in-law's birthday party or birthday celebration. So I'm trying to alter the dress, and I'm trying to do it pretty quickly because I need to know if I'm going to be able to alter this dress in time, as well as know if this is going to be the dress that I'm going to wear, because if I can't alter it, then I'm not going to wear it. So that's why I'm actually just going to try to see if I can alter it right now. It is raining. It's a pretty crappy day out, but I am on and off to find some thread. I'm kind of looking for a lipstick as well. I'm not exactly sure which shade, so I might head over to, right now I'm going over to Joann's Fabric, and then I'm probably going to head to Ulta afterwards. There's a couple of DIY projects that I'm looking to do right now, and there is just a couple of things that I'm looking to kind of get done. So today is a day. Hey guys, so I wanted to show you the dress that I'm currently trying to alter. So basically, this is the dress here. It is like a velvet style dress. You can see it's this really, you can see the color, but this really pretty jewel tone color, really pretty blue. And it's the straps that I'm trying to adjust. So this strap I actually just fixed already. As you can see, there's like an extra piece of material. I might come up like this with the material and kind of just to keep the material on there just in case something, but or if not, then I might just kind of either tack it to the side so that it's on the side like that, or just cut it off completely. But as you can see, I did adjust these straps here because the straps originally, look at the length difference. So this is the difference in length. So this one is shorter and now this one is longer. This one I have to adjust. So I'm adjusting it by 2 inches. So this length here is about 2 inches. I am using a measuring tape. This measuring tape is where I got from Victoria's Secret when I used to work there, but I use that. I also have some other measuring tapes as well, but for some reason I decided to use this one. So as you can see here, it's about 2 inches. And that's what I measured it to, is 2 inches. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how I'm going to alter this side of the straps. Because for this dress, the straps is pretty loose on me. I honestly use this for everything else but cutting cuticles. This is a cuticle cutter, and I literally never use it to cut cuticles. For some reason, I just don't. I use it for everything else. I don't cut my cuticles anymore, so I really don't need it to cut cuticles. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically just taking the thread off of it and making sure that it's loose from the fabric. So that's kind of just what I'm doing right now, is I'm cutting off the thread. And once I get the thread fully cut off, then what I like about this too is it's angled. It's like perfect angle. But once I get the thread fully cut off, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go in and take out all the loose thread that's still on the material or on the product. You do want to make sure you know exactly where that just came from. So I like to put a pin in the actual location that it was, just so it's a marker for me to know this is where that strap came from, so that when I'm going to sew the strap back on, I know exactly where to put it. You can see there, I know exactly where to put it. So as you can see, I want to make sure I line up this strap exactly where it needs to go, and I'm going to now mark off the 2 inches so I know exactly where I should be sewing it onto, and then I'm going to take the pin again and put it where I need it to go. So I'm just doing right where the line is, Measuring out 2 inches. It's a little bit short of 2 inches, so I'm just going to come down on it just a little bit more and measure out the line again, and it hits the 2-inch mark for me. If it's a little over 2 inches, that's okay, but I just want to make sure that it's at the 2-inch mark and that it is exactly what 2 inches, the 2 inches that I need it to be in order for it to work really well. If you also want to take, if you want to take the strap from here and kind of measure it out as well to see if it measures up, and it does, so that's perfect. Both straps on the other side measure up, so that's kind of what you want to make sure. Be careful because these pins do stick and they will stick you. I did get the pin with the ball on it because for me that's the best way to use these pins. So I'm actually just going to go in on the top portion and I am going to just kind of tack it down in place. And the reason why, oh, I just sticked myself. The reason why I'm actually tacking it down this way versus going across it horizontally is when I put it on the sewing machine, I want to make sure that I can go over the stitch and not have the needle on the sewing machine either gets caught or jammed up on this. And I definitely learned that trick from my dad, just kind of watching him sew and just knowing that, all right, if you're going to sew it, you want to make sure that that's going to be, you're going to be able to sew over that. So I'm going to get you a close-up on the sewing machine. I just kind of wanted to give you this kind of quick look on what I'm doing now in order to get this dress fitted the way I want it to fit. I'm going to show you how I'm actually going to sew this on. I wish I had a nice little table for sewing, but I don't do enough sewing for me to actually dedicate a complete space to this. But I do just a little bit of alterations, which is why I decided that I am going to set it up in the kitchen in order to kind of just have something that I can go off of it. I'm actually going to just lift this up a little bit, and I'm going to get it lined up exactly where I need it to go. And I am going to just make a simple stitch, not using the pedal, but kind of just using the, I'm going to use a quick simple stitch, just using my hands to bring it down. And then, oh, actually I forgot to put the foot down. Putting the foot down really helps to hold the fabric in place, and then you have the feet at the bottom, so it helps hold the fabric in place and guide it to where you want it to go. So now that I have the feet down, I'm just lightly going across it in just a really slow motion, and I'm gonna lift this up a little bit just because I see this pulling a little. And that's not what I wanted to do. I kind of want it to just be right on it where it needs to be. All right. So I got it there again. There we go. All right. These pins will stick you, so please be careful. Now I'm holding down the reverse button because I'm going to go backwards so I can lock that stitch into place. Now I'm going to go forward. And as you can kind of see, when I do go forward, I'm able to go over that bump with the pin still in it, and the pin doesn't break the needle, which is pretty awesome. And I think that definitely helps. So going forward, now I'm going to hit the reverse button and go backwards so I can lock in the stitch. And once I've locked in that stitch, I'm only just going to do one stitch because I also don't want to do a ton of stitches because I just might adjust this depending on when I put it on, if it's too fitted, if it's not, if it's too much. So I want to make sure I know exactly how it fits and how well it is and all of that before I actually cut it off. So once you have all of that down, what you're just going to do is cut the thread. And then just pull out any loose pieces. Make sure that it's nice and tight on. And there you go. I mean, that's just kind of how you make a stitch there. And there's just some loose pieces here, but I'm just going to cut those loose pieces off. And it's like, I'm a beginner, so I'm not doing it perfectly, but these are just some quick alterations that people won't even see when you're wearing it. They won't even see it. They're not even going to know that you even did anything to it. These are just some quick alterations that you can do on your own. As you can see, right there is just where the stitch is. It's a little bumpy, but The first stitch I did was actually really good, so well, maybe that one's a little bumpy too. But that's okay because I'm getting better. And this one was the old stitch that was in it before that. I just didn't pull the thread out. So there you go. So this one is definitely a lot better. Just some little threads that I need to cut off. This one is, sorry guys. All right, so I'm gonna start sewing this dress to make it a little bit more fitted. I'm gonna sew it at about 1.25 inches, and basically I'm just using my measuring tape and some white chalk that I did take from my dad. So, Dad, if you're watching, I took your chalk. So basically, I'm just going to mark out where I want to start, and I'm going to mark it on the other side as well, just so that I know exactly where I want to start. I feel like it seems a lot more fitted for me than I would think it would be, but I just know that I need it to be as fitted as possible. Because I got smaller, so I needed to be as fitted as possible and to fit the way I wanted to fit and to look the way I wanted to look. So, with that being said, I'm not going 1 inch down completely like across the board, but I am going to go into like a little V shape. So, kind of the same way that this dress is already shaped is kind of the way that I want to do it. So, if you can kind of see that there, I'm just gonna kind of follow that same like pattern, just like that, just like a same little like V-shaped pattern. Can you see that? Okay. I'm gonna follow that same V-shaped pattern, and hopefully it works out and hopefully it fits. So I'm gonna test it out. I'll let you guys watch me sew it, and then you'll see how I do. I do want to make sure I line it up. So I'm just trying to get it nice and lined up so that it can make sense. I'll come back and show you what the results are. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye. Catch you on the next one.